Hello, beautifuls. Y'all, the gaslighting around here. God damn. I actually wanted to come and make a video today, and I wanted to talk about. I really wanted to drag these niggas on the internet real bad and tell them why the thugs are the best niggas, the best of black males, and how that's saying a lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's saying a lot. When the thugs are the best of the silverbacks, like, that's saying a whole lot. And I wanted to just come and rant about it, but I think that deserves some structure and some deep thought. Because I want to really, like, hone in on the fact that the internet silverbacks are bitches. You know, like real bitches. You know, like, real bitches. Because they over here, and they in my comments, you know, one was calling me, hair-headed hooligan, yesterday. A fat hair-headed hooligan yesterday. And, telling me that he could hear the fat in my voice. Bitch, you can't hear ugly in my voice. I'm gonna tell you that, okay? Let me be the one to tell you that, okay? You might hear fat in my voice, but bitch, what you don't hear is ugly. What you don't hear is undesirable female. That's what you don't hear. But what I know you are, because you all have created the whole entire black pill to speak to your undesirability. The fact that no woman wants you. Like, you will never get no pussy in this realm. And I wanted to speak to that, right? Because, these are the niggas that said that all attractive, silverbacks, all of the silverbacks that black women was finding attractive was thugs. And it was really just to, like, soil them and to, tarnish them with being a thug so they could say they were good. Listen, ain't no such thing as no good silverback. And the best of silverbacks are actually Pookie and Ray Ray. Black women, I know I'm letting out the trade secrets here, but I'm gonna, at this point, we don't really fuck with these silverbacks anyway, so why we gotta lie anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like, why we gotta lie anymore? Like, what are we lying for? We don't fuck with none of these silverbacks no more, so what are we still trying to hide this for? Yes, it's true. It is true that we all dated and looked for, like, the tall, chiseled chin, silverback, that was handsome and that looked good and that had, like, some swag. And, sometimes they was thugs. You know what I'm saying? And that was who we was all looking for. When we did date the silverbacks, like, that's who the fuck we was looking for, nigga. And I just want to be clear, bitch. You're over here because you never had a fucking chance. Never. Never. And you try to play down the looks of black women, because you would have never been chosen by any black woman. Whether she be what you say is unattractive, whether she be fat, whether she be short, whether she be tall. You never had a chance with none of them. None of us. And I just want to hone in on that. Like, I know that it's, black women around here, who having compassion. I don't have no compassion for no silverback. None of them. None of them. And, I'd like to dedicate some content to not having no compassion for these bitches. You know what I'm saying? So I want to do that, but I want it to be a bit more structured, I don't want it to be a rant, and I don't want it to be, just a stream of thought. Like, I want to hone in on every single point of why these internet silverbacks are the worst and the most despicable and the most pathetic of silverbacks. Like, I want to hone in on that. And because I don't go outside and, like, fuck around with, like, thug silverbacks, like, I don't, like, I'm gonna get into that. Like, no black woman over here is having conversations with silverbacks about how they ain't shit. Like, we all on the internet hiding our faces, talking to these lame ass, these lame ass, pathetic ass, silverbacks who buy sex dolls. Like, y'all, listen, those silverbacks are just truly pathetic. And I mean, we don't have no choice but to make fun of them, because we're not foolish enough to really like go out in the street and tell the thugs how, you know, they wasn't shit and they was abusive. You know what I'm saying? Like we not gonna do that, okay? That's one thing we not gonna do. But these internet silverbacks, yeah, you a bitch. And I want to be the one to tell you. You know, I feel like black women have, you know, hidden long enough. You know, when these silverbacks be online saying that we all got pregnant by the same niggas, yeah, nigga, because we was not fucking you. Like, I want to be the one. I feel like I should be the one to just say it, bitch, because, you know, it's one thing, like, I got my own personal grievances against the thug niggas. I got my own personal grievances against the silverbacks that was out in the streets, you know, that was violent as fuck and physically abusive as fuck. But I got a special disdain and disdain for the silverbacks that was not thugs, like the lames. Like, I got a special kind of disdain for you, bitch, and I will never have no compassion for your situation today. Like, I'm happy that in the streets right now, like on the outside, not in the inside, and y'all niggas don't go outside. On the outside, not in the inside, where you in the house, you know, jacking off all day, trying to insult women for being fat, being dark, being tall. Nigga, you couldn't get none of us. Damn it. like I want to hone in on that. Whether she be fat, whether she be dark, whether she be tall, whether she have a deep voice, whether she smoke a pack of cigarettes a day, whether she outside smoking Black and Milds, whether she got a weave on, whether she got a wig on, whether her hair natural, bitch, you could never get her. And I want to hone in on that, okay? So I want to make videos that specifically hone in onto the fact that it does not matter how a black woman looked and how you tried to play with how she looked, bitch, you could never get none of them. And the only reason why you actually had a chance with any black woman, only reason why y'all ever had a chance with me, is because y'all guilted us so much. Y'all made us have so much fucking compassion about your sad ass situation. Nigga, you never ever ever could have dated any black woman. Any. Like, well, we wasn't checking for y'all at all. And when we finally did have some compassion for you fucking wildebeest, we all know how it turned out. Because what I will say is that the unaliving of black women by silverbacks, in most cases, that is their first offense. That is their first offense. The first time that they committed a crime in this country was unaliving us. Like, you's a real life bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a real life bitch. And I want to take some time to tell you how you a real life bitch. I want to take my time and discuss this. And I wanted to do it today, but I can't, because I got to sit down, I got to jot down some notes, and I got to remember to mention all the shit that I want to mention when I drag your undesirable ass for filth. Okay? And I am. Because you do come over here and you do be in my comments and you do, you know, be saying some wild ass shit about black women. Black women that you, listen, you never had a chance. Okay? With me, with any black woman, and you know it. Like, we walked right past you. We walked right past you to get into the thugs' cars, and it's killing you inside. And I want to tell you why we did it. I want to tell you why it's still happening. I want to tell you why Shanika right now in the hood that's still dating niggas because she ain't got this message yet. She, you know, she's still fucking with silverbacks because she ain't got this message. But I'm gonna figure out how I'm making it my personal business to make sure that Shanika get this message. Like, I want all the girls in the hood to hear this message, okay? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want them all to know, like, stop fucking with these silverbacks. And that includes the thug silverbacks, you know? Because as quiet as it's kept, ghetto black women are alluring to everybody. to everybody. Okay? Alright? So, I said all that to say that, bitch, I'm gonna make some motherfucking time for you. I'm gonna make some time for you. And I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna tell you why black women chose the thugs. I'm gonna tell you why Shanika right now in the hood is still choosing the thugs over you lame ass niggas. Like, I want y'all to know why. Like, I want you to know how you so bitch made and how you so, pathetic, and why you could never get no pussy and you still not getting no pussy. Like, it's so bad now that, like, you can't even pay to get no pussy. Like, this is how pathetic your existence is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm never gonna have no compassion, bitch. I'm never gonna have no compassion for you. Like, ever. Ever. And I'm gonna sit right behind this fucking hidden YouTube channel and talk my shit. Okay? And talk my shit. And that's what the fuck I'm gonna do. Okay? That's one of my favorite things to do. Okay? So anyhow, yeah, I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna do that. But when I come to, ladies, so my apologies, beautiful ladies. I just, pardon me. I had to get that off my chest, because I will come and I will read my comments, and every now and again it's a fucking silverback in those fucking comments, and I just be like, why? Like, why, dirty? Like, why are you over here? Like, why did you find this content, listen to it, and then comment on it? Like, why weren't you a half decent, as these silverbacks like to say, of the ain't shit niggas, like, you not one. So why wouldn't you just see a video that doesn't apply to you and just, like, go on about your business? You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't. So anyhow, that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I'm here to actually talk about is the danger in being an empty vessel. The danger in being an empty vessel. The danger in being so empty that you can be filled with anything. Because I think that happens, sadly. And I don't know how this is really happening with black women, because how are you empty as a black woman? Like, how? How is there nothing inside? Like, how is this happening, right? And I'm stopping to ask myself, like, what the fuck is happening? Like, how are black women getting on Earth, like getting on planet Earth and are empty? All of the knowledge and all of the wisdom and all of the ancient ancestry that we have as women, being the oldest women on planet Earth, and knowing all the things when we come into this realm, like, how do we end up being empty? And how it affects us in being empty. And I actually do have compassion. So in having compassion for black women, I do understand how a lot of that, for those black women who end up being empty and they were not, like, they didn't come into this realm empty. Like, a lot of that is beaten out of us. A lot of that is stomped out of us from being a young girl and just experiencing lives that we experience. And sometimes it's no recovering from it. Like, sometimes, I've heard some very, very grotesque stories of black women. Very, very grotesque stories of black women who have done some very, very foul and fucked up shit. And these are even personal women in my life, like cousins that you may know, and they just be fucked up, and you just can't figure out, like, how is she so fucked up? But I make it my business to not forget the young girl that she was, that was eaten up, like, literally eaten up. And that is one way in which black women become empty vessels. And it's because, like, all of the glory that was in a black woman, all of the beautiful things that was in a black woman had been destroyed before she even got, a chance to even be, 14 to 15 years old. Like, and that starts from, of course, SA and molestation and all of the abuses that black girls endure as a child. And then, how families treat you once they find out about these abuses. and just in general, how the world just eats up black women and girls. So that's happening, and that's how black women become so empty, you know. But I think that a black woman who is like that and end up in internet spaces like these, you know, I think that she's trying to recover. I think that she's trying to heal, and it's how she finds places like these and any place that black women are gathering. Anytime a black woman is in a space that black women is gathering, it's because, you know, she's seeking to be fulfilled. Like, she's seeking to be whole again. She's seeking to be who she was sent here to be, right? And then when I see black women who are just like, okay, that's not happening, right? And it's just an empty vessel, just here to be just filled with anything. And then sometimes, you know, I've mentioned, you know, people here in a negative light. But I'm really not talking about those people. I'm really just talking about just in general the danger of being empty and how being empty means that people can fill you with anything. So when I see people, black women, who I deem are empty vessels, and they are in positions of leadership amongst the black women, I think of them as a very dangerous entity. An empty black woman is a very, very dangerous entity. And you have to consider the fact that, you know, for the most part, you know, let me stop, you know, you have to know that black males themselves are like empty vessels. Like, all of them being born, they're just empty. And they can be filled with anything. That's why black women who have thumbs, and I love my thumb. And really, I really am going to take some time and, like, try to be conscious of the things that I say about black women who have, you know, sons, because I don't want to be an enemy to black women who have sons when they come here to try to defend them. But let me just share this. Your damn thumbs are born empty vessels from the birth, right? From birth, they're empty. And for some reason, because what you're trying to put in them is good and it's goddess-like, it's, you know, it's a on the highest end of things on earth that can be good is what a black woman who is well tries to put into her children, right? And you know, your thumbs just rejected. You know what I'm saying? They just reject it. They don't want it. Like, it does not matter. You know, it's the black women here who didn't put a lot of work into their fucking thumbs, and really, I don't know if I blame them. You know, I'm not wasting time like that. You know. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not wasting time like that. Like, I don't have it to waste. And when I say it's no return on investment with them damn thumbs, you know, like, I don't have that to waste, especially in becoming a mother at 14 years old, right? I needed a return on my investment. Like, I needed to be able to roll over at 33 years old and after crying my fucking heart out about my stolen youth and how I had dedicated all of my youth to mothering, I had to be able to see the silver lining in who my daughter is. And that's just me personally. Like, I know women come and they say, oh, well, you know, oh shit, I'm talking about anything. But anyhow, I know how women come and they say, you know, your children don't owe you nothing. And so whoop-de-whoop-de-whoop. And that's y'all children, right? I understand y'all children don't owe y'all nothing. But for me, mine do. Like, my daughter, she owes me something, right? And what my daughter owes me is being great, right? That's how she repays me. When she is, you know, when she hears, you know, some of my life story and how hard it was for me, and I can see the guilt in her face, like, you know, that some of this is, you know, some of the things that I lost in being a woman, and being just a young woman, some of the things that I was not able to experience and she's able to experience, and her payback to me, the gift that she gives me is in being great. And black male children will just never do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that'll just never happen. Your thumbs will never just be great. Like, that'll never happen. They will never be great because they are just empty vessels and whatever you try to pour into them, they're rejecting, and they're absorbing all of the negative things. This is why your 12 and 13-year-old sons, after you have put all the work into him, he goes online and finds the manosphere. Right? He goes online and finds the manosphere, and he's just poured, and all of that is just poured into him, this deep rage and woman hate for your own image. And you wonder, like, how did it happen? It's because he's an empty vessel. Like, it was nothing in him. It's nothing that you could put in him that could have turned out well. He's an empty vessel, and as a result of him being an empty vessel, like, all you can fill it with is hate. Like, that's that. Like, so do we know. Like, empty vessels, all you can put in an empty vessel is hate. That's what they like. And as I'm watching black women whom let me not say who I thought. There are black women who I thought was, decent, who came with a pure heart and had a love for black women, and I've just watched them, like, just become hateful bitches. I just sat and watched it. You know what I'm saying? That happens sometimes. And then also, like black women who come here to do black women's work, and I may not have, I may have, detected early on that it's, this was an empty vessel. This was an empty entity. And I knew that the switch in reverse was coming. They're always filled with hate for black women. Like, it always happens. Like, with your sons that are empty vessels, all they feed on is hate for black women. These empty vessel black women who come into, black women's spaces, like, they're eventually filled with hate for black women. Like, it's kind of like that's what they eat. And I've come to warn about us not being empty vessels, right? For us not to have a, like, real connection to the divine, right? And if you come and you listen to those of us here who are connected to the divine, and all we're really doing is channeling her. Like, that's all we're really doing. But having your own connection keeps you safe as a black woman, right? Not being empty and just waiting for someone to pour something else into you. You got to have a little bit of it for yourself. You know what I'm saying? A little bit of connection to the divine mother you have to have for yourself. If not, then what eventually gets poured into you is this hate for black women. Is this hate for black women? And as I'm watching some of the conversations that are being had on YouTube, on Facebook, how even on the divested spaces on Reddit, you know what I'm saying? Like, as I'm watching some of these conversations play out, I'm realizing that whatever is poured into some of these women, they just eat it. Like, it's no real, like, center of gravity. That's what I'm looking for. There's no real center of gravity in which the grandmother resides, in which a black woman can tell, like, this is not good. Like there's no strong connection. There's no strong grounded connection that black women have that just lets us as a collective know, like, this is not right. And I know that I have it because in most times where I think, a black woman is just not, like, she's coming with all of these smokes and mirrors, and she's showing up as, knowledgeable, in some cases older than I am, way older than I am, old enough to be my mother in some cases. And she's coming with this wealth of knowledge, or what seems like a wealth of knowledge. And it's just something about them that's always off. And then, a couple of, months later, I'll hear them telling the collective of black women that you ain't shit and your coochie stink. And I'm just like, what happened? And I think that because most of the women who are listening to this kind of content are already those already broken women, right? Those already broken women who did not necessarily come into this realm empty, but have been so beaten and so downtrodden that it's hard for us to recover. And because we're not grounded, because we don't have any real sense of the grandmother ourselves, like a divine connection to source, which be black and female, but just like, let's just say, you know, a divine connection to source, a divine connection to God herself, right? We're not able to feel like this is bad. like for some reason, we're not able to feel that this is bad. Like, this is like, you know, like it should be like a caution. Like, you should have like some kind of alarms going on and setting off inside your mind. Like, something here is just not right. And as I'm watching, and I've watched it in my own Discord, right? I watched it in my own Discord space. And not you know, my newer Discord, but the old one. I've watched women in my old Discord space who thought that a thing was good, right? Or, you know, who came into my space, you know, talking about a certain BWE content creator being good. And I would just, you know, it's kind of like, you know, it's kind of like mothering, right? Sometimes I have to let pudding fall on her ass. You know, sometimes I just have to do it. Like, I have to trust as her mother that I've put enough in her that she'll be able to figure it out eventually on her own, right? And because usually the women who come into my space and the women who communicate with me, they have their own connection to the Divine Mother. They have their own connection to the Divine Mother. They have their own connection to Source, to Goddess herself, right? To God herself, right? I have to trust without me saying, like, hold up, y'all. Right? Hold the fuck up. I have to trust that their own connection to Goddess herself is going to have her see a thing as it is, right? And it usually happens, you know, over some time. And sometimes it takes a long time. Like, sometimes there have been women in my space, you know, let me just say this. All the ladies that are in my space that have connected with me on any level, I love them. I love them. I love black women in general. But, like, the women that are, like, specifically connected with me, I have to trust that your own connection to the Divine Mother is going to safeguard you. And I've come to say that sometimes we have to maintain it. Sometimes we have to keep an open line of communication with the grandmother so that we don't become empty vessels that anyone can just pour anything into us. Like, at some time, the light bulb is going to click. You know, at some time, you're going to realize, oh my gosh, I'm in an unsafe space. At some point. Because of your connection to the divine. And there have been ladies in my space who it took a little time. Damn it. To those ladies, like, it took a little bit of time. But I've always seen, like, their connection to the Divine Mother, to the grandmother, shine through, right? I don't want to beat it over. I don't want to beat it over black women's head. That something is evil and wicked. Like, I want to be able to drop, and that's what I do here. I want to be able to just, like, drop hints, and you gotta feel it. And if you don't feel it, the reason why you don't feel it is because you're not really of us. And that's okay. And that's okay, right? Which is why I'm so clear, especially on my Facebook page. And I'm going to be clear here when I'm saying, you know, us and them. Like, I want to make a clear distinction between us and them. I want to make a clear distinction when I'm here being nasty and I'm saying, y'all. I want it to be clear. I mean, y'all, not us, right? I want it to be clear to us that I'm not talking about us. I'm talking about y'all, you know. So I'll be conscious of that, right? Because I do think that the women here do have a divine connection to the grandmother. And I think that when all else fails, like, you know, even if what I'm saying ain't really hitting how it's supposed to, and sometimes it don't really hit how it's supposed to because I be talking about y'all dirty ass sons. You know what I'm saying? You know, yeah, so sometimes it don't really hit like it's supposed to because I'm talking about y'all damn sons. And, you know, you can't see the forest, you know, for the trees or however that goes, you know. But I don't want you to become empty, okay? That's all. I said all of that to say this. I don't want you to become an empty vessel that anyone can just pour anything into, because what's being poured is a hate for the divine feminine principle. That's what's being poured onto all the empty vessels on planet Earth. Everybody, right? It's a hatred for Creatress herself, right? For Goddess herself. And you're here representing her on planet Earth. You're her physical representation. That's who we are as black women. We're her physical representation. So if they can't get directly to Creator herself, right, Goddess herself, then of course, you know, second best is to get to you. Which is why you have to keep a divine connection to her, that you cultivate and that you water and that you do what is necessary to stay connected as possible. And I'll just, you know, share some of the ways in which I stay connected. Like, and it's not a lie. No, rule number one, listen, I cannot stress this enough. Black women, you've got to stop fucking niggas. Like, for real. Like, I'm being sincere here. Like, I know that it's women here, and I love you to death. Like, I love all black women, you know? That's still fucking niggas, okay? And y'all, nigga nut clouds your vision. Like, for real. Like, nigga nut cloud is... I hate to get graphic if I'm getting graphic here, right? But all the hate that's in him is like in his cum, that he's fucking you and then he's coming inside of you, and it's like clouding your vision. It's disconnecting you from the divine. And I'll get more into how black males' ideal weapon against black women is his dick. Okay? Like, that's his ideal weapon. That's why black males don't want to have any interaction with a black woman that he can't fuck. Right? Because in this war that they're waging against you, the number one weapon that they're using is their dick and their cum and their nut, nigga nut. Like, you cannot let niggas be fucking you. Like, I'm, like, sis, start there. Okay? Start with not fucking silverbacks, not dating silverbacks, not allowing them to cloud your fucking judgment with their silverback secretions. Right? I would also add, and this is sometimey for me because meditation for me becomes dark. And not dark like, not dark as in like scary. Like, I know that the easiest way for the divine mother to connect to me is via meditation and sleep, right? In my dreams, right? But for me, when I meditate, it feels so there. Like, which is why I say it's dark, right? Because it feels like so there. Like, when I'm meditating, like, literally, I can literally feel her presence. And not that her presence is not lovely and all love and light. You know, sometimes it's dark. sometimes it's dark, and sometimes the darkness is a bit overwhelming for me personally. But I will say that meditation, like I said all that to say, yes, meditation, no dating, relating, having compassion for, or fucking silverbacks. And rest. And rest. Like, those are the 3 ways that I maintain a close connection to God herself. And I'd have to add my relationships with other black women. My relationship with my daughter, right? And it's just, that's just a thing that's, that's in the Bible, and I believe it's true. When 2 or 3 are gathered in her name, she is also near. And I don't even know where that is in the Bible. I just remember that Bible verse. And I just know that when we are together, like, she is there. Like, when we're together for the good of her, that she's also near, right? So every single time I'm interacting with my daughter, like, that's always, all of my, mind you, when my mother transitioned when I was like 23, Puddin was like 9. Most of the decisions that I made in rearing her came post my mother's transition. Although my mother was definitely essential in some of the ways in which I raised her, but most of that was just me and her. Me and Puddin gathered in her name, and she was also there. Okay? That was some of what it was. Well, that was what it was. Like, me and her gathered in her name was some of her always being there. So keeping connection with black women who are holy is another way in which you keep your divine connection to the all, so that we do not become empty vessels. As I am in other spaces, on burners, as I'm in other spaces on burners, I see, like, black women just being empty as fuck. Like, for real. Like, this is a real thing. Like, black women just being empty as fuck. And that's just in BWE spaces. But when I see black women becoming more and more like empty silverbacks. Empty silverbacks. And really, some of that has to do with how degenerate black culture has become. Like, how degenerate and vile black culture has become. And it's no way that a holy thing can stay holy in black culture anymore. Like those of us that's here, like, we fought our way through, there was a black woman who gave a fuck about us at some point in some time in our existence. I've mentioned, in the past, like, black women truly gave a fuck about me and did not know me. Did not know me from Adam. I can single-handedly point to 2 black women today, and I can't remember their names, but may God herself bless them and continue to have favor in their life. But 2 black women who didn't know me from Adam and who aided me in my education. And had they not aided me in my education, had they not gave a fuck about a black girl, had they not thought to themselves, if I don't do what I'm about to do, this black girl is going to fall through the cracks, and if she does fall through the cracks, who knows what may happen to her. And they made a decision. 2 different black women on 2 different occasions made a decision that literally they had literally my life in their hands. Literally had my life in their hands, and they chose me. I don't know how many times a black girl gets that today. With the decline, the fall from grace that black women are living in, I don't know how many times, you know, what's the young girl's name? We be saying Keisha all the time, but you know, Keisha about 40 now. You know what I'm saying? Keisha 40 now. The Keishas are 40 now. Shanika's in their 30s, and like Ayana's, no, that wasn't the name. It wasn't Ayana. It was I'm trying to think of the name that all the little girls had when they was Anaya, right? Those are the Gen Z girls. And I'm just thinking of names like when Puddin went to school, like all the little girls' names was Anaya, Nevaeh. So Nevaeh is Gen Z, or Anaya. Like, I don't know how often Anaya is going to get the love that I got from older black women. I don't know how often they're going to experience that, and how they're going to be able to survive as we have this very, very pitiful fall from grace. And that's the Anayas. And then black women started, you know, going into white girl names. Like, the girls after the Anayas, like, they ended up with white girl names. You know what I'm saying? Like, they ended up with what's the names that black girls started giving their daughters? Megan, of course. Megan, a white girl name. I know we love Meg, but you don't know that many Megans, okay? Riley, right? The black women, you know, started naming their daughters Riley. I've seen a lot of Rileys. Look, I don't know, y'all. Those are the names that the babies are having. Like, when you go into a preschool, it's a lot of fucking a lot of you know, a lot of those white girl names that black girls started to give their daughters. But anyhow, like, I don't know how they're going to make it. Like, really, like, if what we got now is dependent, all of these fucking empty vessels around here, like brain dumb black women, like just empty as fuck, and being filled with more fucking self-hate. If that's all they got to depend on, like, I don't know how they're going to make it. I don't know, y'all. As I'm watching all these empty vessels, I'm on my Facebook page, and then, you know, someone posted a video of a black celebrity, you know, basically just trashing her, you know, and so she's trashing her, and then the niggas come on the comments and start trashing the same black celebrity, and I'm just like, wow, like, we opening the doors for niggas to just trash our image, because why? What is happening? Like, just black women are just becoming empty vessels, and I don't know. I mean, if black women are empty vessels, if black women have no souls, if I'm walking amongst black women who are soulless, it's getting bad out here. It's getting bad out here. If we around here in the year 2020, you know, for the year of our mother, and we only in our 30s, and the black women are already empty as fuck, yikes. Like, literally, yikes. I'm afraid of what is to come. So yeah, I just came to talk about empty vessels and how many of them are amongst us, and how we not become an empty vessel. Do not trash your own image as a black woman. Like, I don't get it. Like, I really don't get it. I had a conversation in my Discord a couple of months ago where I was, you know, let's get on the black women stinking, because I don't know where that came from. Like, I'm for real, and I had just talked to my little cousin about this like a couple days ago, because she was talking about one of her friends stinking, and I was like, is she black? No, I was really like, is she black? Because that's unheard of. Like, that's for me and my generation. Like, we used to get beaten for stinking. Like, did that happen to y'all in the comments? If you a black woman, like, were you traumatized for getting a beating for stinking. Like, once you got like a certain age and your arms started stinking and you run through the house and you smell like a cheesesteak, like, you would get your ass beat for not putting deodorant on. Like, you would get fussed out, yelled at, told to go take a bath, and you better not smell. Because if you smell, you're going to get your ass beat. Like, I used to get out the tub, and my mother used to make me come to her and lift my arms up. Okay? This is traumatic. This is traumatic, but I'm trying to get us to understand, like, when did black women start stinking? Like, when did that rumor come about? Because now I'm hearing black women say, like, I understood why the silverbacks were saying that black women stink. Like, I understood that. But I be hearing things about twerk wind and, you know, black women coochie stink. And I be hearing that from black women. And I be like, where's this lie coming from? Where's this lie coming from? Because the millennials, we used to get our ass beat for stinking. Like, you could not stink. Like, your mother was going to whip your ass if you stink. Like, that was how bad it was for us. So, I never smelled no twerk wind. Like, I don't be smelling black women smell. Like, where the fuck is this coming from? Like, where is this lie? Where's this lie? And it's, again, like, more empty vessels. Like, you weren't there when we was all getting our ass beat for stinking? Like, where was you at? Where was you at when your auntie had to have that conversation when you first came on your period and you was doing the humiliation ritual of coming on your period? Remember that? Like, nobody else was there. Like, this is how I know these are, like, empty vessels, because these are things that really happen, and black women act like it did not happen. Like, you're lying. You're lying to make up jokes about black women with niggas. No, when you came on your period, if you had a nice aunt, she'd have a sit down with you about listen, this is some things about to happen to you that's going to have your body, you know, going through some changes, and you need to be very clean. I remember having conversations with Puddin', and now, you know, she's not here, and I'm going to share a little bit of her business, you know, just a little bit of her business, which was lessons that I had learned. Like, it was space. It was space in between your coochie and your butt that you had to make sure that you washed because it smelled, and you need to make sure you wash right there. Like, your aunts will have a conversation with you about it. I remember having that conversation with Puddin', like, you gotta make sure that you wash really good. Right? As soon as you got, I'm having conversations with my niece now, who is just a little baby. She's 9 years old. She's getting to the age where her little underarms stink, and her mother's trying to have her go through this humiliation ritual of yelling at her every time, you know, she forgets to put on deodorant. And I'm like, you can't do that. Like, let's just talk to her about it, right? She forgets to put deodorant on because she's lived 9 years without putting deodorant on, so she forgets to put it on. So let us just talk to her about, like, let's not do the humiliation ritual that Blackistan did to us. But it was a real life humiliation ritual about smelling, about age 9. So when you came on your period at 12, 13, like, it was a whole humiliation ritual that we all lived through, and we knew better than to stink. I've talked to white males about this, because, you know, in the presence of a fucking dirty ass ape saying that black women stink. And this ape was, you know, I told y'all about the St. Lucian. It's embarrassing. Y'all, I believe the hype that they told me when they told me that the like non-American niggas was better than the regular niggas. Yeah, so I had a fling with the last silverback was St. Lucian, okay? And him trying to have a humiliation ritual because he was another red pill nigga. Like, oh God. Anyhow, another red pill nigga having a conversation in front of a white male about black women stinking. But the black male dates black women. I was like, black. So, I'm sorry. So I tried. I hope y'all hear me. So anyhow, so he try and play with black women in general. This St. Lucian nigga trying to play with black women in general, talking about how black women smell in front of a white male who dates Black American women, who had more experience with Black American women than the St. Lucian nigga. So listen, you want to play on Black women? No. Let's be specific, nigga. Maybe them St. Lucian girls stink, but Black American women don't stink. We cannot stink. It's against our religion. Our mothers do not let us stink. Like, that shit is dead. Okay? And I'm having, I'm like, no, like, throughout our childhood, like, we would get beatings for stinking. Like, that's a real thing. We used to get beatings as Black American women, Black American girls, like, we used to get beatings and humiliated for stinking. So, no, we don't be stinking. That must be a St. Lucian thing. And the white guy had to agree. He was like, no, Black women smell good. He was like, no, Black women smell good. Like, I don't know what the fuck you on. Like, no, that's not a thing. Like, it be a thing over here, with the cocks, the cock women, but Black women never stink. So now I'm watching these Black women online talking about Black women stinking, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Like, you fucking empty vessel, shut the fuck up. You fucking empty vessel, shut the fuck up. Stop trying to jump in on a Black woman hate train. You're pathetic, because you're a Black woman. And nobody does this. Now listen, that's them, not us, because we know better. Like, we be shutting our fucking mouths when Black women being talked about. Listen, I don't listen. When black women being dogged, at this point, I don't give a fuck who it is. When they talking about Sexyy Red being ugly, like, nope, y'all a motherfucking lie now. Like, y'all can say that she ratchet. Y'all can say that she is selling sex. Y'all can say that she's an industry plant. But goddamn it, when her face looking like Black women faces, when her face is looking like Black American women, oh, bitch, you not gonna say she ugly. That's what you not gonna say. Bitch, you not gonna play with our image like that. Like, I don't play that shit, y'all. Like, when I'm on the internet and it's a trashing of the Black woman collective, like, I jump in like, listen, I'll be in there like, y'all not even gonna play with Big Sexy like this. Like, y'all can say what y'all want about Sexyy Red, but she ugly. Like, now y'all lying. Y'all not gonna play with Big Sexy like this, because the Big Sexy shares the image of the collective of Black women. Right? And if we agree that she's ugly, then we agree that we're ugly. And that's like the Silverbacks and their fucking self-loathing and self-hate. Like, we don't do that. We don't do that. Like, Black women, be conscious of the things that you're doing. Do not become an empty vessel. I don't know where this lie Black women stinking came from, like, but it's a lie from the fucking pits of hell. From the fiery pits of hell. We could not stink in Baltimore. In West Baltimore, damn it, we could not stink. If you were stinking and your mother heard that you was stinking, like, you would get a whooping. And your mother went inside the bathroom and made sure that you washed well. Oh my goodness, no. Now that I'm thinking about it, the humiliation ritual was crazy, because you had to wash up 3 times. You had to wash up 3 times. And that's a joke that even today my brother will, like, make a joke, like, when we talking to each other, and like, we'll be like, I'm about to go take a shower. You gonna wash up 3 times? Because mommy used to make us wash up 3 times. Like, stinking was a fucking no-no. And then, you have these women that's online going along with the lies of Black women stink and Black women got twerk win. Like, what? Like, it don't smell like nothing when Black women twerk around me. It don't smell like nothing. It smells like the perfume she wearing. If I'm around a bunch of young girls, it smells like fucking Bath and Body Works, all different scents. You know what I'm saying? Like, where's these lies coming from? Like, just empty vessels that you can just pour anything into, that you can just tell anything to. It's like no fucking thinking, no critical thinking skills. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? Black women? How are you becoming empty? What's up? What's up? So, yeah, that's my feel on being an empty vessel. Black women do better. And I don't mean us, because we're doing well. But the ones that be over here, like, just being empty and just, let anybody tell you anything. Like, I don't like that. Like, you was there. You was there. You have critical thinking skills, and you have a connection to you have the closest connection to the divine of anybody on earth. So you should know how to feel a thing and understand that it's evil and that's wicked. Like, you should be able to feel like something not right here. I don't know what's not right, and I'm not going to open up my mouth yet because, you know, every black woman ain't got it yet. But I know in my spirit, like, something's not right here. And I need to, and you as a black woman, you need to be okay with that. Like, you don't have to open up your mouth and yell from rooftops. You don't got to yell from rooftops, you know. But I ain't gonna say we should be yelling from rooftops, but you should be able to at least just be silent and just know, like, something's not right here, and eventually the collective of black women is gonna get it, but I'm not gonna go along just to get along. Like, not gonna do it. And usually, like, the women who can, you know, speak to black women like that, like, they know the kind of tones to use. Like, they know the kind of language to use to talk to black women. I remember early on when I heard, you know, black women calling, like, the collective of black women bitches and shit like that. Like, I didn't like it. And some of that was because my mother didn't call me no bitch. You know what I'm saying? Like, my mother herself, the goddess herself, okay? She didn't call me no bitch. Like, my mother didn't talk to me nasty. Like, she didn't talk to me nasty. And even when I mentioned, like, the humiliation ritual, like, that was a lot of what went on in my family, but my mother did not do a humiliation ritual, although I had to be clean. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had to wash up 3 times, and she let me know, like, listen, when you wash your coochie, that you wash your coochie, and when you wash your butt, you wash your butt. But when you, but it's a little space that you can miss if you don't reach all the way back into your coochie. You gotta, you know, really go back far. Little preem. And I was like, oh, okay. And then when I got out the shower and I had to lift my arms up and let her smell me. That was humiliating. But all of the rest of, like, the things that you see on the internet where, you know, black women are, like, showing their daughters tampons and shit like that. And their daughters' pads and how long they had their panties on. Like, none of that went on. Though I was taught, like, you better change your fucking panties every day. Listen, whole baths was taught in my mother's house, okay? You better wash your coochie and change your panties every fucking day. I don't give a fuck what's going on. It's something that my mother taught me, and I passed that down to pudding. I don't give a fuck, baby. It could be whatever happened previously. You better make sure you got some clean panties and wash your coochie before you roll up out of there, okay? So, yeah, I just wanted to talk about being empty vessels. I want to talk about some of the lies that's going on the internet, because empty vessels share the fucking lies. And I just wanted to bring it home that the hate that is happening it's directed towards you, you know? So, when you start pointing to black women, when you start cussing out black women, you got one finger pointed at Big Sexy saying that she ugly, and you got 3, or whatever, however the fuck it go, you got 3 pointed back to you, and, you know, yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. You know, I want black women to be careful about what kind of moves we making. This time in our existence is very critical. You know, it's very critical. You know, it's the ending of an era, and it's the beginning of a new era. And I like for us to shape it well for those little baby girls that's coming into this realm. I think Nevaeh is a new name, right? Because, y'all, Heaven, that's a new one. Heaven is a new one. Yeah, the young girls, the Gen Zs that's out having babies early. They out here naming they out here, fuck it, they ain't not playing no games. They naming their daughters Heaven. Okay? So yeah, for the little Heavens that's being born right now, you know, it's a new era that's coming in, and I like for us to, you know, begin it well for them. And, like, you know, for those of us who know, and, like, let's Let's just not be empty vessels, okay? And that's all I had, really. I just wanted to let us know, like, let's not be empty vessels. I wanted to say what I had to say to them niggas. And that's it. Love you, ladies, and enjoy your weekend.